From afar, Hawaii looks like paradise.
Giant mounds of plastic waste washing up in Hawaii's beaches statewide, and it's usually coming from far away. So what's being done to tackle this problem? Nigeria is
pretty much every piece of plastic that we've put in the ocean, for the past 60 years is still there in one way, shape, or form.
In reality, Hawaii's beaches are full of pollution. Trash from around the world manages to find its way to our islands. In fact, there's a garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean that carries 1.8 trillion pieces of rubbish and is roughly 4 times the size of California. That's insane. Pollution can vary in sizes. Some can be pretty big and some can be really small. No matter the size, they can strongly impact our environment. According to Nat Geo, numerous times large marine mammals like whales have washed ashore with guts full of plastic. This shows that some of these plastics can take out some of the greatest creatures. Who says they can't affect some of us? My central question for this project is, how does pollution on the shore correlate to pollution on the reefs? For the past several weeks, I've been collecting data from each side of the island. My goal is to see if there's a correlation or not. The first beach I went to was Kaimana Beach on the south shore. Most people think the South Shore has a lot of pollution because of its tourists. Well, let's see if that's the case. For the sand on each side of the island, I used visual observation to record how polluted it was. To accompany this, I used my hand as a rake to find any smaller pieces of pollution within the sand. Kaimana Beach's sand ended up being very clean. There was little to no pollution on the shore. Even the sand had little to no microplastics, which is very surprising. I next went into the water to see if the results were similar. As expected, the water conditions were also very good. I couldn't find a single piece of pollution within the 10 minutes I was swimming for. But I did find some fish. I was initially pretty disappointed that I couldn't find much at Kaimana Beach. But if you think about it, that's actually a pretty good thing. It just means that we're doing a better job at picking up our own belongings. Now, on to the east side. So for my study on the east side, I decided to go to Sandy's. Sandy's is often very crowded with locals and tourists. The sand didn't reflect this at all. Like Kaimana Beach, there is little to no pollution through my observations. Now it's time to see if the water is similar. As you can see, the water at Sandy's was very rough, which caused the conditions to look a bit murky. But I still wasn't able to find any pollution on the reefs during my swim. I think the reason for this is since there are so many people who go to Sandy's, they want to keep it that way when they come back. Many locals love to come here, and they're probably the main reason why the beach is so clean, because they love it so much. Now on to Makua Beach on the west side. This is personally my favorite beach on the island because of how clean the sand and water usually is. Like the other beaches, Makua Beach's sand was amongst the best quality I've seen on the island. As for the water, the clarity was like no other. It was crystal clear. We eventually saw some turtles in the water, which was really cool, but I saw something that was pretty unexpected. One of the turtles I saw had a fish lure hooked into its skin near its beak, and also had a very thin fishing line wrapped around it. I was shocked seeing this happen firsthand to a sea creature in the water, so I turned to professional diver and photographer Nolan Omura to see if he's seen worse.
I haven't seen like a turtle with a net around its head or anything too graphic, but I have seen where dolphins would actually have like a piece of plastic on their fin, or they would check out maybe an aluminum can at the bottom that's shiny, and it's sad to see that they aren't sure what it is. They're not sure if it's rubbish, if it's food, and I've definitely heard a ton of stories where a turtle is stuck in, say, a net or a clear plastic bag, and it's just sad to see because it's something that we brought upon, something that has become an issue over time, and they don't know better. They don't know if it's food, and it's sad to see.
After talking to Nolan about the ocean pollution problem in Hawaii, I decided to go up north to Makua Beach to see what I thought was one of the most polluted beaches on the island. We saw a pretty large variety of plastics along the shore. Not only that, but even the reefs were covered with many pieces of pollution. While on the North Shore, I also participated in a beach cleanup hosted by 808 Cleanups. While working with them, they gave us a cool little tool that would help pick up metal anytime we grazed the object over it. We were able to collect many pieces of small metals along the sand. I thought that was actually pretty cool. While working with the organization, we picked up a total of 77 pounds of pollution, which was very impressive to me. Overall, I had a very fun and interesting time working around the island and learning about the different amounts of pollution that vary on each side. The correlation between the pollution on the sand versus the pollution in the water seemed pretty strong. When there was pollution in the sand, there was also pollution in the water, and vice versa. Now, I think the big question is, what should we do as a community to help the ocean pollution problem?
Definitely number one thing is to spread awareness. Get your friends encouraged to want to make a change. Not necessarily you go out by yourself or two of your friends and just try to clean up a whole beach by yourself, but to raise awareness, make sure that people know that this is something bad. And as a community, it's way better if a bunch of people come together versus just 2 or 3. Definitely, it's all by word of mouth, just spreading words, make sure that everybody knows how big the problem is, and to just take care. If you see something, fix it. If you see a piece of trash or like a plastic bag, just pick it up and throw it away.
Hopefully in the future, I can take my passion in filming and use it to continue spreading awareness of ocean pollution in our islands. If we want to conserve the beauty of our islands, it's ultimately up to us. We need to step in and start taking action now.